let's talk about our next match.
Yeah, so Rogue against Ryung on, let me check what the map is, Lerilak Crest. We saw a couple of games on Lerilak Crest yesterday. Curious against, I believe it was Classic as ZVP on that map. And also, oh yeah, Lucero against Journey on that map. And let's talk about Lucero versus Journey from yesterday, because Journey actually produced a really nice game against Lucero, quite surprising us.
Yeah, well, he managed to keep his army split out well enough that there was really, even though they were never able to unite for most of that game, at the same time, there was no moment where Lucero was able to actually crush one of those two armies. And with his less mobile army, especially in that game, or at least and not just less mobile, but also he wasn't able to comfortably engage without maybe losing too much and getting behind. He was able to be pulled apart. We could see some of that this game. This is going to be interesting. Now, Ryung is, as you can see from these stats here, not very much Pro League experience.
Yes, he's played a lot for GSTL with Axiom.
Back in the day.
But in terms of actual Pro League games, he hasn't played any games yet because he was on that foreign team, Axiom. Axiom did not have any players in Pro League, I believe, except for, no players in Pro League. So this is going to be his first time playing in Pro League, and he's up against a tough opponent in Rogue.
I think Rogue's got this. Let's see, though. Rogue, he's just very overall strong right now.
And I love this this Pentagon here right now. Rogue's Pentagon pretty much overshadows Ryung, so it seems that the Jenna coach has more trust. So yeah, so we should explain that Pentagon that you just saw before.
Oh,
so
that's based off what the coaches are thinking about their current players. And I mean, I don't think it's an unfair evaluation of Ryung there by Choya. I think that you look at that player and you think, well, I mean, Ryung is good. He's definitely been around, but at the same time, is he of the same caliber as some of these other guys? I mean, I think it would be unfair to say yes, he is.
I mean, Ryung's peak was during Wings of Liberty. If you remember the GSL in Las Vegas with IPL, he made it to the semi-final and lost to Hyun. So coming back into Legacy of Void, but we're going to get started into this game. Rogue against Ryung here on Lerilak Crest.
Down here in the bottom left, Rogue. His opponent in the upper right, Ryung.
So we see here same positions as yesterday's game between Journey and Lucero, but curious to see how Rogue plays this game out compared to what Lucero did yesterday. Both players somewhat different in their play styles. Rogue preferring that heavy Baneling style that is, his trademark. Ryung, solid player, nothing really flashy though that he does. Yeah, we just got to see how this game goes.
Time will tell. So far, we do know Ryung is going to go for a quick expand. That's never bad, because Terran's in the opposite starting location here. That's always convenient. Over here for Terran, it looks like we should have Reapers coming out here.
Yep, as we see Rogue just powering those drones actually, not opting for a spawning pool just yet. And as I say that, just gets his spawning pool, so no surprises here from both players as Ryung getting that gas. We'll see him get that Reaper, and most likely going to get that Command Center after at his front base.
So I got a question for you. How old are you, by the way?
I am 23.
You're 23. I'm 31. I'm an old man. My knees hurt. But I have a question for you as a youngin'. I was wondering, what was the first StarCraft match you ever saw? Not in person. I'm talking about just online. Because you've been following StarCraft for quite some time now.
I think my first match was probably Boxer versus Joyo on Paradox. That amazing game where
Boxer versus who?
Joyo. the Protoss player on Paradox.
How do you spell that?
Joyo.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you remember that game. Everyone here in Korea remembers that game if they watched it. It was crazy. Go YouTube that game, by the way, if you haven't seen it before.
And was that what got you into it?
Yeah.
And how did you find out about StarCraft? Because back then it was quite an obscure thing. Was it through a friend or what?
My brothers used to play StarCraft, and then I got into playing on a private server, actually, AUS1, or OZ1, as would say it. And from there, people just... I love how they use the pillar to hide. Oh, that Zergling nearly kills that Reaper. But back to what I was saying, I played on a private server a lot. I used to play a lot of use map setting matches. And
you were one of those guys.
Yeah, I was one of the guys.
You were playing the tower defense and all that.
Yep, and I also love to play BGH and Fasters as well. But a friend of mine there introduced me to Team Liquid, and I found out that people play games in Korea on TV, and I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. And then from there, I just kept following the scene, and here I am now casting the most prestigious team league in the world.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah, I got into StarCraft back when there was not even replays. It was back when there was something called battle reports, where people would someone would observe a game by actually having to put it into 3 players. Then both players would ally the player that was Terran. The Terran would lift off his command center, go to the corner of the map, and both players would give him vision. And I would read. They're still up there somewhere on the internet, but I would read people discussing what they saw with screenshots and this and that. So I mean, way long ago, but I've been in love with it ever since.
As we get back into this game, Ryung getting that Reaper out. He hasn't died yet though, so he's going to keep scouting. Sees that the 3rd base of Rogue is... Ooh, that Reaper actually sneaking into the base. Not sure how much he saw there.
Yeah, it is going to be, with the roaches coming up here, it looks like he might go for a little bit of aggression, unless he just stops making roaches pretty quickly, and he's just using this to try to be a deterrent for the Hellions that are coming out now.
As you see with the command center being built already from Ryung. As he also has that medevac with those Widow Mines, we'll see how much pressure he does with these Hellions that he has out on the map already.
We have Burrow coming up here. That's pretty interesting. He might be using that to try to spy on what his opponent's doing. If he's going to try to float to a 3rd or anything, he might be able to put a Ling under there. And it can even just come in handy for surprising your opponent. And we have some Ravengers already starting. Quick Ravengers here, 3 of them.
No surprises there from Rogue. And what I'm loving about Rogue's play so far is that, unlike Lacera from the previous day against Journey, he's really adamant getting that creep out. As we see Widowmine here being dropped by Ryung, looks like that Queen is going to tank that damage from that Widowmine.
Oh my god,
nice
I love that he gets those Ravagers just for that purpose, because not only is it going to be handy against Widowmines, it's going to be good against Liberators to try to siege up outside of his bases.
For sure. As a few Ravagers are out for Rogue, just waddling around the map. Looks like Rogue is just content on getting that 3rd base up, getting that saturated, getting that creep spread out. I don't know if that's a term for it, but we also see Liberator here just camping behind in that air area where those Ravagers can't hit it right now. I guess he's going to keep that, try and multitask Rogue here with this Hellion drop and deploying that Liberator with this drop.
Okay, so he's got the Hellions dropped out here. Here comes the Liberator. Now, it looks like he's ready. Check this out. This is so smart. I love it. Oh, wow. Ryung's ready. Good reaction timing by Ryung. But no, immediately.
Yeah, Rogue sniffing that out. Yeah, it's actually really hard. Rogue and Ryung, they sound quite similar, so.
Yeah, they don't, these 2 names together don't quite roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
But good control there by Ryung. He does manage to pack his bags and head out here. Stim is nearing completion, which is the moment that Terran can actually bring his main core army out on the map and not simply rely on drops here and there.
As we see here, Ryung actually picking off these rock tower, but these Zerglings actually coming into the main expansion here.
You know what? There's just too many Lings right here.
Too many Lings here. And where's these Hellions that he was using before? Oh, it doesn't actually get that supply depot up. So these Zerglings are actually going to snipe this tech lab, and this combat shield is going to go down.
No combat shields for now. Oh, he might be able to save it in time. Good repair. He does manage to save it.
But those Hellions that he tried to bring back, actually getting sniped out by those Zerglings. So
I think there's a chance that he might attack in again here in a second. He's going to have 1-1 attack. Rogue is, and he reduced the Marine count by a good amount. He might try hitting the 3rd in a little bit here.
And what I love about getting those Marines is that we didn't see previous game between Lucera and Journey, the creep spread, you can see already now that Rogue has gone in that creep to the mid-center of the map. It means he has map control. It means he has more flexibility about the way that he's going to approach the incoming army of Ryung. Rogue's in a really good spot right now.
He is. He's making a few more lings here. We see the Queens. By the way, creep spread, we haven't even really touched on this, on how phenomenally good it is. He's basically got a fourth of the map covered in creep, maybe even just a little bit more than that. And I don't think he's going to be stopped anytime soon. We have also, at the same time, Ryung going to try to come around here with these Hellions, and this is completely a big mistake. He should not have walked into that.
Yeah, that was fortunate timing there from Rogue, those roaches coming out for him. As a result, Ryung could not harass with those Hellions, as we're going to see a 2 medevac drop full of Marines. We'll see whether it decides to try and snipe that 4th base that's going down for Ryung, or going for the throat of Rogue, and it looks like he's going to go for this 4th base.
Yeah, I think he's going to try. The problem is the creep spread's so good, it's hard for him to even sneak around. All right, he's coming down here with these lings.
See, these Ravagers actually get the crossbows out, and no medevacs have to boost out. A problem that Ryung has had in this game so far is that he's failed to stop the creep spreading. Something that Journey did really well last game, yesterday, against Lucera, was stopping that creep. It seems that Ryung's not that proactive in spreading creep in this, stopping the spread of creep in this game.
Well, the medevacs are going to loop around now. Terran's trying to put on some pressure. I don't think this is anywhere near as effective as anything we saw from Journey. Rogue continuing to get bigger and bigger. No available places to drop. Looks like he wanted to try to catch him with those infestors right there. Even setting up a spore crawler to make it a little bit more difficult. And
with that 4th base, Rogue has that extra gas income that allows him to get those high-tech units such as the infestors, and we saw that Ultralist cavern going down as well.
Yeah.
And what we saw from SSL last week, Thursday, was Sui against Innovation. The use of infestors in armies coming back into...
Oh, that's so funny. He gets the fungal up, but he locks out his army, but still, nice job there. He does catch some of that. And we may have Zerg try to attack up here to the top center to try to deny this expansion that's going to be coming up. In fact, the Link's trying to run by, and he's going to get under that command center.
No, he doesn't. Looks like he has to run back here, as at the moment, Roche is jockeying around his 4th base right now. I guess he just wants to keep that 4th base alive. Oh, nice Widowmine hits there on some of the units, but they'll mostly take another hit as well, but looks like these Ravagers and the Corrosive Files are going to take out that Widowmine, as we see a drop here at the 2nd base of Rogue.
Good fungals here. That's going to take out that medevac. The Lings will clean up the rest. Zerg still pressing forward. Looks like he's very interested in trying to hit this top center expansion, but the army here for Zerg is just too sparse. We may see fungals as he retreats back over here. Ryung taking capital and actually wiping out some of the remaining creep tumors and this center left expansion, which, by the way, is the only real accessible expansion for Zerg at the moment, especially with Zerg destroying those rocks back there.
Oh, but you see here, Ryung's actually got himself in a sticky position right now. Corrosive Files and that fungal growth hitting on those units by that rock tower, but it looks like this 3rd base is actually getting hit quite hard by for Ryung here. Rogue's going to lose that 3rd base.
He's going to come in now. There are Liberators here. More Lings are spilling in. Zerg needs to take this army out. The control here pretty good. No more fungals left on this army as he's coming forward, but Ultra's coming from behind, doing a lot of damage. By the way, over here at the top, the Lings have denied the 4th base for Terran.
Yeah, really lucky there from Rogue getting those Ultralists out. If those Ultralists did not come out, there was no way he was going to mop up that army of Ryung. But the thing is, Ryung is struggling to take that 4th base, and you have to remember that the main base is nearly mined out for Ryung. His expansion, his 1st one, nearly mined out as well. He really needs to take this base and defend this position.
Usually with the builds they've done in this game especially, the main and the expansion mine out at almost the same time. So there becomes a point immediately in the game that Terran is on one base for a while if they don't get a 4th up. And that's when it gets pretty scary, because Terran can only barely support everything that they're producing out of once that occurs.
And it seems like Rogue is favoring to expand towards the left. He has no interest in taking that bottom right area, because he did destroy that rock tower, sealing that entrance way to that theoretical 5th base. As we see these Ultras trying to chip away that expansion, but that is a planetary fortress, so it doesn't seem that he's going to be able to do that much damage to it at the moment.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. You really don't want Ultras just with a few roaches. You need to have Ultras paired up with Zerglings. They don't do much of anything unless they have the Lings there to help surround, because the Ultras can be out microed for days by infantry. It's pretty easy.
As we see here, Ryung trying to drop at that base, but well, that Medivac actually has quite low HP at the moment. As we see another drop here on the minimap at the bottom right, we'll see how much damage this does to the 4th base of Rogue.
So he's going to drop down here, and it looks like Zerg is actually setting everything at him, trying to push this back off. And another push coming down here in the center. Now the big question is this enough for Terran right now? This is a pretty sophisticated composition right now for Zerg, and I'm not sure if Terran's going to be okay handling it. The Widowmines are going to go ahead and burrow, though.
As we see those Widowmines burrow, it's nice punk growth there from Rogue. Combined with that corrosive biles of the Ravagers, those units get wiped out really quickly. Ryung here trying to kite these Ultralisks, and these Ultralisks aren't getting doing that much damage.
This is what I was talking about why you need to have Lings with the Ultralisks. I mean, they just keep kiting and kiting and kiting and kiting and kiting until eventually Zerg has to run for it. And the fact that they're faster with Stim means that they can actually be hunted down. And when you're losing those Ultras, I mean, you're losing a lot of important gas, you know, that you spent. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like Rogue could win this if he just plays clean, if he just plays smart. There's just one base up here for the top center for Terran. It's not that well defended. He just has to engage properly.
Rogue definitely overextended there when he moved past the creep trying to chase that army of Ryung, but this game is quite still in balance for both players. I mean, you need to Ryung needs to just hold on till he gets maxed out again, gets that 12 o'clock expansion resecured. With those SCVs, get a bit of a saturation there as... Ooh, actually, Rogue, nice move here. Trying to get to this 3rd base of Ryung, and these Zerglings are doing a lot of damage, and I'm not sure about the SCV count right now. 62 for Ryung. We'll see how he saturates that 12 o'clock base.
All right, so we have a few small drops over here, and you can always do this if Zerg doesn't get a Spire and isn't making any Mutalisks. I mean, you're still able to move freely around the map and try to harass. By the way, Terran now trying to take his own 5th base, which would be in the center right here. This may be the moment that puts Ryung out of position enough to where it's possible then for Rogue to just jump on top of him. Oh, that was sick.
Oh, so many ghosts here from Ryung. This was quite a surprise for Rogue, I bet. And did you know Ryung in Korean means ghost?
I did not know that. That's cool. How fitting.
So we see a lot of ghosts here from Ryung, as these ghosts here are going to get surrounded by the Zerglings, but I really love this composition here from Ryung with all these ghosts. The ghosts are really good against those Ultralisks.
Okay, so he's picked up again. The Ling harass, by the way, is quite good. I like that he's even burrowing half of them, because there's a chance that Terran's so preoccupied holding off all these different attacks and dropping at the same time that he might not notice that. Oh man, right now, I gotta say, it seems like Ryung is feeding a little bit into his opponent. The difficulty right now for Ryung is that he's going to have to be able to rotate back and forth between the top base and the center right base. Moving by ground and pushing into the Zerg's area is going to be pretty difficult, if not impossible.
For sure. Most of the damage that Ryung needs to do right now, considering that he has to defend both the 12 o'clock and that 3 o'clock expansions, is through medevac drops. And if Rogue catches on these medevac drops, it's going to be really hard for him to do damage. But as we see, these Zergling run-bys are doing so much damage for Rogue here.
Okay, he's going to keep pushing down now. And it looks like he really wants to try to engage over here. He's got this army of ghosts behind the rocks. So that's a little bit annoying right now for the Zerg, although I don't think, until he destroys that, there's really not much he can do to stop this. Zerg may sack bottom position, or he may try to just hit this army head on.
We see here in the composition of Rogue's army is a lot of Banelings. And we'll see how those Banelings do against this army. Is a lot of hits on the Marines there. Fungal growth as well. Those medevacs can't move back.
Oh my God, he just completely destroys him. GG. A game that ends in the 3 seconds back there. Rogue Hulk smashing Ryung. I think Ryung did a good job hanging on, but I'll tell you what, man. Rogue knew how to get to the end game.
Those Banelings were really, really cool, and that might have swung the favor of that battle in favor of Rogue, and really Rogue actually, Ryung rather, excuse me, actually playing quite solidly that game. It's just that Rogue was the better player.
And are we 2-0 on our predictions?
Yes, we are.
Damn, we are good. All right. Well, so far, so good. Unless you're an MVP fan.
Yeah.
Or an MVP player.
Yes. So our next match will be Creator against Departure. We could see a 3-0 here. We just have to wait and see how things go.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait it out, man. We're going to have a short break coming up here, guys. Tell everybody to join in. The Pro League was delayed slightly, and then we got it up this week. So I know there's a lot of people who might not be fully aware that this is going to be on all the time for months and months and months and months. You can tune in, same time, same place, and get this action here. It's not just GSL, guys. SPO's got a lot of great stuff going on here as well. We're going to go to a 3-minute break. When we come back, we'll continue onward with Junior Green Wings against MVP.